People are waking up and their entire bank accounts are being wiped out clean. And the banks are telling them that there's absolutely nothing that they can do to help them.
If you get a call or a text from your bank, don't believe it and contact them first, because I was dumb enough to believe the texts and calls that were coming to me thinking that it was my bank. And I don't have any money anymore. All the work I did to get us to be financially free is gone, and the light at the end of the tunnel is gone. And I have to work super hard again just to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Not even just to pay it off, just to see that there.
A lot of us are quick to judge and say that I would never fall for that type of scam. Everybody knows that that's a scam. But the truth is, with AI getting more and more realistic and these scammers getting more crafty, they can literally tell you about your entire life, your entire family. It is really getting very hard to tell what is a scam and what isn't, especially when they are literally calling you from your bank's number.
All of my money was just stolen. Today I was the victim of phone fraud. Somebody called saying that they were from my bank, from the fraud department of my credit card, that there were fraudulent charges on my card. He verified them, asked me if I did them, and I said no, and then he said, okay, I'm gonna cancel your card right away, like, I'm gonna help you out, don't worry about it. He somehow already had access to, like, see my transactions on that card, so he went through, like, the most recent ones, and asked me, like, is this legitimate, is this legitimate? I was like, yes, like, that I know. I didn't give him any passwords, nothing, he, like, already had stuff. He just asked me for, like, normal verification questions, and he was somehow able to access my account, and he wiped my checking and my savings clean. I've reported it to BMO fraud, and I'm going to the police station now to report it as well. Just be so careful when people call you. Please, just be careful.
I can't imagine working, trying to save up all your money, and one phone call could just take it all out. And the unfortunate thing is, if you act complicitly with the scam, even though you are the victim in this situation, a lot of the banks will not help you.
Bank of America let a scammer take $3,900 from me. Through my school, I have been pursuing an internship that I have been trying to get a student study work position for maybe 2-3 months now. In person, I had been in contact with the person who's responsible for said internship. After a couple of months, we've been emailing back and forth, and it looked like it was a legitimate internship. They ended up reaching out to me saying, we have the position available. During this whole transaction, the person ended up saying that they have to review the HR paperwork. Mind you, in person, I had already submitted some HR paperwork with my social security and everything. So long story short, after back and forth with this person confirmed that I would get the internship, which I was told also in person. This person sent me 2 checks, one for $3,000 and one for $900. They said deposit it into your account, and shortly we'll send a representative your way to be able to reach out and get the transaction going so that you can get started with your work study. I was over the moon. I was like, wow, this is the best experience ever. And this person reached out to me again with the logo of my school. So I'm thinking this is all going through the school. Lo and behold, it was a fraud situation. But during the first transaction of the $900, my bank, the only one time they denied the check. So I thought that was weird. But when I went to deposit it again, the next morning, the money was there. So here I am, thinking in good faith that we're okay to make this transaction. This is a legitimate thing, has a school logo, and the person that I looked up that was emailing me back and forth that showed verified had a LinkedIn attachment, and you click on the LinkedIn and it looked like that person was in fact a director at the same institution at a different location. When I reached out to the student service representative, she ended up telling me that's a scam, don't reply. And I said, well, great. I get on the phone with Bank of America, I'm telling them my situation, and it's getting ugly really fast. After filing for fraud and after filing for everything accordingly, I got a letter that said I was denied. Because of the whole fraud, they took $900 from my account, and it caused my account to go into the negatives. My paycheck from my actual job got deposited, and it completely swallowed it. Bank of America has not helped me at all. I have been on the phone with them multiple times. I went to 2 branches. The first branch I went to, Cynthia was amazing. I loved her. She made me feel so seen and just helped me throughout my situation. The second time I went to a bank, I was so mad. I started crying in person. This person who stated that she was an assistant manager explained my situation. I said, what do I do? Who do I need to talk to? Is there a senior banker? Is there a manager I can speak to? At this point, I'm desperate. I am not joking. Hand on the Bible. This assistant manager told me at some point in time in our lives, we have to take accountability for our actions, and there are going to be consequences for every action we take. I was furious. I literally started crying because I had no idea what to say. I did not expect that response. Anybody has any advice, I will gladly take you up on it. Thank you guys so much. And again, Bank of America.
Honestly, guys, something like this almost happened to me when I was in college. So it definitely hits close to home. Thank God the bank teller saw that I was a young woman, and she saw that I was like genuinely confused, and I really believed that this wasn't a scam. And the moment she looked at it, she was like, wait, let me take this to the back. And she came back and she said, listen, baby, this is a scam. We need to cancel this. You need to report the person that you've been in contact with and all of this other stuff like that. And it was just a mess, but I'm so grateful that I did not cash that check. But again, it was kind of at a time where you had to go into the banks to cash the check. You couldn't just take the picture. I can't even imagine how easy it is for a young woman or a young man in college to get scammed like this. And if there's nothing else that I've been learning from these videos, it's never, ever, ever answer a 1-800 number.
Over the weekend, a mother hacked my bank account and took all of my money. And I got a call from a 1-800 number, and they was like, "Hello, this is Mr. Harrington from the fraud department, from the Regions Fraud Department. I'm calling to inform you that your card was being has been compromised." Said that somebody from Walmart in Bartlett tried to swipe my card for like $800 some odd dollars, and I was like, "No, that was not me." So he went on to say how we need to close my account down, and how he was canceling my card, and he was going to send me another card that had 2 chips on it. So every time he made a transaction, that I would get a text to my phone and say, "Did you make this transaction?" Number that was on the back of my card called my phone, and when it showed up on my call ID, it said Regions Bank. Right? Okay. So I clicked over it. It was like, "Hi, this is the fraud." It was an automated system. "This is the fraud department. Please enter the card number that you're wanting to cancel." I entered the card number. It said press pound. And it said, "Please enter the zip code." I entered the zip code, press pound, and went silent. He said, "Oh, so many people are going through this, so we're having some technical difficulties, so we got to do this verbally over the phone." Now, he already can see my online account. Now, at this point, he done terminated my whole online account. I can't even see my bank account no more, right? Oh, he was boosting me up to myself. "So save my number. I'll be your agent until you get your new card. When you get your new card, call me back and we'll set up your online account, blah, blah, blah." So that whole Saturday, I was getting all these notifications saying, they claimed to be from Regions, saying that, "Did you swipe your card for this?" It was like 800, 600, 125, 500. And I kept pressing 2, no, 2, no, no, no. I'm literally going back and forth with Regions right now.
Scammers can now mimic these 1-800 numbers and again, pretend like they are literally your bank. I know that my bank has a feature within the app that you can call them directly through that app. And I highly encourage any of you that if you ever need to speak to your bank, that you use your app to do so.
I don't even know if I am allowed to make this video right now. I work in banking. I just sat down with a customer for about a little bit over 4 hours of my day. There is an epidemic of scammers going on right now, where customers are getting calls on the phone or text messages where they say, "Oh, somebody attempted to make a withdrawal or a transaction on your account. If this was not you, please call this number." And the customers are calling these numbers. And then the people behind the call say, "Let me get some information of you to verify so that I can help you secure your money at this bank, at this credit union, at this financial institution." And the people willingly give out their information. Please, please, I hope this reaches a lot of people. Do not fall for these scams. Send this to your grandmother, send this to your grandfather, to your great aunt. They are targeting senior citizens. It's a big thing right now. It's a big thing. And they're convincing them that they're actually helping them. It's a scam. Please, if you get a call like this, if you get a text message like this saying, "Please call this number, give us information," hang up the phone and go to your local branch and inquire with a banker or a teller or a bank manager so we can advise you so you don't lose your money, because people are losing their life savings, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars they are losing. I don't want you guys to lose your money. I don't care where they bank. Please, please, thank you.
It's so scary how consistent these stories are. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Bank of America, Wells Fargo, anybody can have their entire bank accounts flushed out in seconds. Though I have to admit, a lot of these stories have been happening with Bank of America. Now, I don't know, do any of you guys bank with them? And have you had any issues with fraud when it comes to them? And how did they handle that situation?
Okay, I'm going to try and make this video as short as possible, but it's going to pertain to fraud and the scam calls we've all been getting. I got a call yesterday from my bank before, if I got a scam call, it would be like the same number as my bank, but maybe one number off. Like if the last two numbers were 7847, it would be like 7843 or 7841. But they called, it literally rang from my bank's number. So I was like, that's weird. They have called me before, but I answered it. And I answered it, and he asked if he was speaking to Hannah Kitts. Hannah Kitts is my previously married name. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, you got the wrong number. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, not Hannah Kitts, Hannah Gross. And I was like, which is my name now. And I was still like, no, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number, because I can't. And it was, and 9 times out of 10, these calls are from people with foreign accents. This was not a foreign accent. But I still felt weird, because I was like, I can always call them back and verify. So I'm not going to give any information right now until I get off the phone with this guy. And he was like, so you're not Hannah Gross? And I was like, no, sir, I'm not. But you have a good day, okay? And he goes, so you're not blonde? And I said, I'm not going to disclose what color of hair I have. I'm just letting you know you have the wrong number and to have a good day. And he goes, so if I type your number into Cash App, it's not going to be a video or a picture of you and your husband? And sure enough, my Cash App is a picture of me and my husband. So if you get a phone call, these scammers they have went above and beyond what they used to do. They're somehow wiring in and tapping into our bank's numbers. They literally called me from my bank, and I have a photo of it that I spent that time on the phone call with Y12, who called me. They called me, but then I immediately hung up after that. I called Y12 back, and they were like, because they log every conversation that they have under your account number and everything. She was like, no, honey. She's like, this is not the first time they're hearing of it, or we're hearing of this. They're getting super good. So I just wanted to let as many people know to be careful, because they're calling you from your bank's number now, and it's untelling how many people they could get if you don't know. So stay aware.
Some of these people are pretty calm about this, but imagine getting scammed out of $13,000. I don't know what I would do.
I was scammed out of $13,000 this weekend. I was out shopping, doing the dilly-dallying at Home Goods and Michael's and Target and TJ Maxx, and just trying to get stuff for Christmas and the holidays. And I get a text message from my bank saying, hey, did you just have this transaction in Home Goods? I'm like, yeah, that was me. This was the amount. Yep, was me. Right after that, I got a phone call, and they were like, hey, you sent a text message in regards to this Home Goods transaction. We just want to confirm, yes, this is you. No, it was not. I'm letting them know, yeah, I responded to the text message. Yes, it was me. They said, okay, thank you so much for confirming. They said, well, what about this transaction for $3,000? I'm like, what do you mean $3,000? Nah, baby, I'm spending like $200, $300, not $3,000. No, that's not me. They said, okay, the $3,000 is not you. What about the $2,000? There's also one for $6,000. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not attempting these transactions. All I'm doing are these little transactions that are at Michael's. None of them exceed $300. So no, that's not me doing these other transactions. They're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and do what we need to do in regards to your account. I said, okay. 2 hours later, I get another phone call from my bank, which was actually my bank. And they're saying, okay, these transactions for $2,000, $3,000, not even mentioning the smaller transactions that I had just did. My actual bank said, we never called you today. We are calling you about these $1,000 transactions. We never would have called you for these other transactions. This is usual for you. They said, man, we never called you today. And they're like, okay, what did they say to you? I said, they're saying everything that people usually say. You know, can you confirm your name, your date of birth, all of the information. They knew where I was shopping. And they said, this was an AI generated voice. They said, this is an AI generated voice scam. And this is how they are able to get people, because they sound legitimate. They sound like they are at work. They sound like they're able to assist you, but this is not what's going on. They said your entire account is drained. $13,000. This didn't happen to me this weekend, but AI voice scams are so scary and so real, because you think that you're talking to a real human. You think that you're talking to a real person. Always hang up and call your bank directly. Even if that is your bank calling you and you are unsure, hang up and you call them back. They'll be able to assist you.
Well, let me know in the comment section below. Have you ever been scammed like this? And if so, what did you do to help yourself out of that situation? Or were you able to get help at all? As always, we like to thrive and not just survive. So if you're ever looking for some more ways to make money, then make sure that you check out this video here.